necessarily reflect the views and opinions of News Talk 1450 WOL, Radio 1 Incorporated, or their management.
Bring the beat in. Oh, yes. I'll tell you, it's cold outside. It's cold outside everywhere you go. It's cold outside, I guess, but Miami. All right, everybody. It's another awesome day here in Washington, D.C. We're so excited. I'm telling you, it is an awesome day here in the nation's capital. Good morning, Andre.
Good morning, C. Allen. How you doing this morning, sir?
I tell you, I'm doing awesome. I tell you, first of all, that bed was holding me tight this morning.
I know that's right.
I didn't want to get out of that bed, but I knew that Miss Sue is listening to me right now. I knew that Brother Mac is listening to me right now. You know, everybody's Sue and Mac. If you're a female, you Sue. If you're a brother, you Mac. All the Sues and Macs are up today, and they're listening. And I'm just so excited to be here at the Radio 1 stations. I tell you, we are here at 1450 AM WOL where information is power. And, baby, we got some information for you. Now, let me just tell you what's going to happen, Andre. I tell you, we got 2 Power Pack hours. Our first hour, and I want to hear from you. I don't want you to be shy. But we're talking about, have we lost professionalism in the barbershops or the salons? Oh, my God. Have we lost professionalism in the barbershop and the salons, especially, well, you know me, you know where I'm going, especially the African-American salons and barbershops. Have we lost the professionalism in the salons, in the barbershops? Have we lost them? We're going to be talking about that this morning. Have we lost the professionalism in the shops, in the barbershops? I want to hear from you. 1-800-450-7876. 1-800-450-7876. The first hour we're talking about, have we lost professionalism in the barbershops or the salons? Our second hour, we are so excited to have Glenn Jackson Productions, the Golden Sisters Awards. He's going to be either coming in or calling in, I'm not sure. On the second hour, you know that's a big event on December the 8th. We want to talk to him about that. And then, of course, you know January the 11th, 12th, and 13th is where you must be, especially 12th and 13th, at the Washington, D.C. Convention Center. And I'm telling you, if you go to our website, which is BennettCareerInstitute.org, the tickets are on sale now. You can go and get tickets now, as well as any other Sea Island salons and spas. You can go and get tickets for the big event. So now, as we're waiting for the callers to call in, we want to know how or have we lost professionalism in the barbershops and salons. Let me tell you what this came about. And you know I got a whole lot of stuff to talk about. But let me tell you what this came about. This came about, Andre, you all right this morning?
See, you so funny.
I'm just asking the question, are you all right this morning?
I'm good, sir.
Well, what you over there huffing and puffing for?
I'm trying to laugh on the air, sir. You so funny. You
Okay. Well, praise the Lord. All right, praise Him.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes,
then you gonna be funny when you get your check on Wednesday. All right, everybody, let's move on. Listen here. We're excited because if you're just tuning in, or this is your first time, or you know we have wonderful Roland Martin that's come on before me. If you're just coming on, I only come on Monday from 10 to 12. Yours true, Chet Bennett, the founder, CEO of the Bennett Career Institute and the Sea Island Salons and Spas. The 2-hour show is all about beauty, fashion, education, and life skills. You know, one of the lingering questions, Ray, that stays in my head is, what are we doing or what are we not doing to live our best life now? What is holding us back from living our best life now? I can't get that out of my head. I'm going to tell you why. Because you have so many people who they never look at themselves and trying to figure out what's holding them back. The only thing they look at is they look at what they think that people are doing, but they're not looking at themselves.
Yeah, that's called counting other people's money, see, Alan.
Yeah, so, you know, but anyway, 1-800-450-7876. I want to know, have we lost professionalism in the barbershops and salons? I was in the chair on this past weekend. And I was listening to someone telling me how they were discussing everything from feces in the eye, that's what causes pink eye, to all kinds of foolishness. And I had to ask the people, Do you think that that is professional conversation in a barbershop or a salon? Now listen, 1-800-450-7876. I'm sitting there listening, and I wrote down, and it was so unfortunate, but it was easy how I wrote down my 10 things that really bothers me about professionalism in the barbershops and in salons. 10 things that really bothered me about that, and I'm telling you, I want to see if you're going to mention it first. 1-800-450-7876. I want to see if you're going to mention it first before I mention it. But I'm telling you, today we're talking about have we lost professionalism in the barbershop. I'm telling you.
See, Alan, I'm gonna tell you. Have you watched any of the movies, like the barbershop movies?
Mm-hmm.
And in the barbershop movies, and like even Coming to America, they show you in those movies what a typical African American barbershop, looks like. People in there laughing and joking about current events, making up stories, cursing, laughing, yelling. And that, is that something that we accept, that we've always accepted as a part of our culture? Is that what we do at a barbershop? Is that a man cave?
Okay.
That's the question I'm asking.
Okay, so you hold on to that question. Let's go to Linwood on line 1. Let's go to Linwood on line 1. Good morning and welcome to the Seattle Morning Show.
Hey, good morning. First time hearing your show. Check this out, man. We ain't never have any professionalism in the shops, really. Let's stop it. And as far as black culture, we don't have no professionalism at all, man. We've gone, gone to hell in the handbasket. We have no class. Hip-hop has dumbed us down, has classed us down. It's just sad, man.
Okay, so Linwood, let me ask you this question. Now, and thank you for listening to the show. So let me ask you this. So now, have you been into, how often do you go into barbershops?
Sir, can I be honest with you? I haven't been to a barbershop in 20 years. I stopped going.
Oh, my gosh.
I stopped going when they started shooting people in the chairs over there.
Wait a minute.
And, from the crack era, That's why I said, I got to cut my own hair. Forget this. I just look in.
So then, Linwood, so then my question would be is how would you know that there's no professionalism going on in the barbershops if you haven't been in 20 years?
Can I be honest with you?
Say that.
Yes.
I keep up, man, because I'm a cultural critic. I watch a lot of YouTube videos and whatnot, talk to the young fellas. Like I said, I look in and keep right on moving. It ain't changed them. It's gotten worse. It's gotten worse, man. Come on.
Okay.
Look, let's just be honest. Like Chris Rock said, you got black folks, and then you got what. And the what is taking over our culture. Okay? The regular black folks like your mama, my mama, I'm 53. After my generation, it's all ratchetness now. You know what I mean?
Okay.
We call it wretchedness, but they call it ratchetness.
Mm-hmm.
It's just sad. You know what it is.
Okay.
Women don't have no respect anymore. Men have gone crazy.
Okay, so let me ask you this, Linwood, before we go to Erica, our next caller. Let me ask you this. What do you think is the solution, Linwood? And thank you for calling on the show. What's the solution?
Well...
Well, wait a minute, Linwood. You had all the situations, but I need a solution.
I'm about to break it off for you now. Can I be honest with you? There is no solution.
Oh, my God. Bye, Linwood. Bye. He did all that talk, everybody, and then going to get quiet when I said, what's the solution? And then going to turn around and say, there ain't no solution.
Boy, he fell in the rabbit hole there.
Linwood, I want you to keep listening to the show. Everybody, 1-800-450-7876. Have we lost professionalism in the barbershop or salon? Let's go to line 2, which is Erica. Talk to me, Erica.
Hello, Mr. Bennett. Hello, Henri.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, we got 2 minutes, man, while you doing all of that. We got 2 minutes. Talk to me. Have we lost professionalism in the barbershop or the salon?
Okay, I would disagree. Because first of all, you have to define what professionalism is. Ooh. I go to the barbershop pretty often, and I would say that culturally, barbershops and beauty salons or black beauty salons And black barbershops are the centers where we process information, we pass on information. You know, it was very integral in the civil rights movement. And I think that has sort of played out where, you know, when we go to the salon, we have relationships with these stylists and these barbers. And so we talk about what's going on in our lives, you know, what's going on in the community.
So let me ask you this real quick, Erica. Let me ask you this real quick. So do you think that it's unprofessional if you're sitting there with your barber that you haven't seen in 2 weeks and you're updating your barber? And most African Americans, we get loud, we get excited, we get emotional. And let's say we having a really great conversation in the chair and we're laughing and we slapping and we hitting each other. Do you feel that that's unprofessional?
No. I'm sorry, I don't.
You feel that it's more of a camaraderie?
I think it's more camaraderie, and I think it's cultural, and I think it's a positive cultural thing. You know, what I believe, you know, again, we have to define what the definition of professionalism is, but I think that, you know, as African Americans, we have to embrace things that are integral to our culture. And I think going to the barbershop and, you know, talking about, you know, a family, because a lot of times the relationship with the barbershop...
Erica, hold on, baby. Erica,
Mm-hmm.
hold on. We got to take a commercial break. When we come back, everyone, we have Erica, we have Rashawn. We're talking about how we lost professionalism in the barbershop or salons. Call me now.
News updates on the web at WOLDCnews.com.
Good morning. This WOL traffic update is brought to you by UPS. On the inner loop of the Beltway, southbound at Route 5 Branch Avenue, it was an accident. Moved to the shoulder, a little slow to see what's going on through there. 295 northbound, still some volume left over from Howard Road to the 11th Street Bridge. Southbound on 295, going from Benning Road down to Pennsylvania Avenue. UPS is hiring seasonal package delivery drivers for their Northern Virginia locations. Wages start at $16.10 an hour. Full-time days, no CDL required. UPSjobs.com, equal opportunity employer. Now your WOL weather forecast brought to you by Garmin. For today, partly cloudy, high near 38. Tonight, cloudy down to 32. Tomorrow, wintry mix turning to all rain by afternoon, highs in the 40s. Don't hate traffic avoided. Get a Garmin Nuvie with subscription-free HD digital traffic. Keep moving. Drive with Garmin, the most trusted name in GPS. Steve Hirshhorn for News Talk 1450 AM WOL, where information is power.
Dad, remember when you asked me, what do you want to do with your life? And I was like, I want to get paid. Well, right after that, you said, there's no job called getting paid.
Really? I said that?
Yeah. And that's exactly when I knew. I wanted to go to college.
You never know which moments will be the ones they remember forever. So take time to be a dad today. Learn more at 1-877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov.
Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Hi, this is Morgan Freeman. Has anyone ever said, you're the picture of health? You look healthy and you feel fine. But that may not be the full picture. Colorectal cancer is the second leading cancer killer of men and women over 50. Doesn't always cause symptoms, but it can be prevented. Get screened. Make sure you are the picture of health.
A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention.
News Talk 1450 WOL-AM, where information is power.
Oh, yes. All right, everyone, we're back here live.
We're back live.
C. Allen Morning Show. I'm telling you, it is hot and popping today. Today, we're going to get back with Erica, let her finish her comment. We're talking to our listeners today. We're asking them, have we lost professionalism in the barbershop and in the salons? Is it okay to laugh and kiki with your stylist? Is it okay to joke around in the salon? Is it okay, or should we not talk over the client? Should we focus just on the person in the chair? Oh, we got a lot to talk about. That's why I didn't bring no announcements yet, because it's hot and popping, and it's sure hot in the studio. Thank you, sir. How we lost professionalism in the barbershop? Go ahead, Erica. What's your final comment?
Well, my final comment is, again, that I think that the way we act in our salons and barbershops is cultural. I think we should embrace it. I don't necessarily think that we should emulate what we consider other, and I'll just say other in quotes, what other salons do. Again, I think it's cultural. I think it's been something that we've done historically. Yes, sometimes it gets out of control, but again, those are the places where the barbershop and the beauty salons have been the places where we most can be ourselves, and we have relationships with these stylists and barbers that go past generations. So I don't necessarily think that it's unprofessional. What's unprofessional is if I make an appointment for 2:00 and I'm not getting in the chair until 4. That's what I would consider unprofessional.
All right, thank you so much, Erica. All right, let's go to Rashawn. Rashawn, good morning and welcome to the Sea Island Morning Show. The question is, have we lost professionalism in the barbershops or the salons? Everyone, 1-800-450-7876. Give me a call. Yes, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I think that our salons and barbershops have lost a certain level of professionalism. We have to look at, like I said, it is a where we do look and go back and forward with our stylists, with our barbers, and other people in the salon. But we also have to remember everybody is not there for that type of interaction. So we have to be mindful of other people that are also in the salon. And then as barbers and stylists, be mindful of the things that we are doing that set a certain tone within the salon.
All right, so let me ask you this question. Erica, the caller before you, she stated that it's a part of our culture, the camaraderie of being with your stylist who's a friend, to get them caught up with what's going on, all of that. When we talk about professionalism, is that part of non-professionalism? You are a stylist, right?
That's correct.
So let me ask you this. So when your clients come in that you haven't seen in a month or 3 weeks, do y'all laugh and talk and carry on a conversation and continue to build that special bond? Is that unprofessionalism?
No. In that sense, no, it is not. But what I would say is, if my catching up with my my client seems to affect the next person that's in the next chair in a negative way, then that I would consider would be unprofessional.
Okay, very good. So now, what would be your take on when we say professionalism? And I hear people saying bring the professionalism back into the salon and all that kind of stuff. The question then would be is, when we say bring it back into the salon, what do you think people mean when they say they want to bring professionalism back into the salon?
I believe that people are referring to how barbers and stylists are perceived and how our industry is perceived in general. I haven't heard anyone say it, but through interaction, you can tell that some people don't view our profession in a very high standard.
Okay, very good.
And I think that some of the things that we as stylists and barbers do in front of our clients, or certain discussions that we have in front of our clients, it aids in that type of thinking. So me personally, I'm very cautious of certain things that I do in front of my clients, certain things that I say to them or in front of them to other stylists, because we want to keep our profession held in a very high regard.
Very good. All right, very good, Rashawn. Thank you so much for calling. And you are a professional stylist, and we definitely appreciate you calling in. 1-800-450-7876. The question that we have today is, have we lost professionalism in the barbershop or salons? I was just on another radio station, won't mention the name, and they had me there as one of the panelists discussing about being professional in salons, and the phones was just lit up, and everybody, all the clients were calling in saying the same thing about the stylists being late, about them in the chair, about them constantly waiting, and the only thing that they talked about was the unprofessionalism, but nobody talked about going into salons and having a great experience. Let me share something with you while we're waiting for the callers to call. Let me give you the number 1-800-450-7876. We want to hear from you. But also, one of the things that I find important as a school owner is that we consistently educate the stylists. And we're so happy that Washington, D.C. has implemented a new rule that was put into law on September 2011, and it goes into effect for the first renewal cycle, which is next year. And that is the continued education units. For those of you who have no clue, it is a notice of final rulemaking issued on September the 30th, 2011, added 2 new sections to the D.C. Municipal Regulations, Chapter 37, Barber and Cosmetology. Section 3730 refers to continued education requirements for licensees, and it applies to D.C. barber, cosmetology, and specialty licensed practitioners. All right, the details about Section 3730 can be found on the website. Now, it talks about how we must get 6 continuing units in order to renew our LICO, 6 continuing credits during each 2-year cycle period to renew his or her license. We must have those 6 CEUs completed by the next renewal date, which is April the 15th, 2014, and for the barbers, it is September 2015. So one of the things that we're talking about today is we're talking about the professionalism in the salons and barbershops, and part of the professionalism in salons and barbershops is the continued education units. It is crucial that you take 6 CEU classes in order to get your license, Karen. It is crucial that happens. Many people still have not spreaded the word. That is the purpose of the Celebrity Beauty Weekend, the conference at the Washington, D.C. Convention Center. That conference is to make sure that we have people that is going to be working on getting their CEUs in order for them to complete and get their renewal notice. Now, it's just funny to me how we are fighting with stylists, and this is the law. The reason why we had chose to fight with the stylists is because we definitely do not want March and April, February, after the conference is over, for you all to come to the Bennett Career Institute trying to get those 6 CEUs when we have a beautiful conference prepared for you in January. Now, we're going to go back to the phone lines, but I'm not going to let this go because it is crucial. It is crucial that you call 202-526-1400, extension 45, and register. It's crucial. There is no other way. In order for you to get your 6 CEUs, you need to register for the conference. And it's so unfortunate because black folk wait to the last minute to do everything. My God. Let's go to the phone lines. Let's go to Nana on line 1. Nana, talk to me. We're talking about, have we lost professionalism in the barbershops or salons? Talk to me.
Hello, yes. I was giving you my name, Nana Prince Badu. And I'm from Ghana. I'm an artist. I write music and I do some movies. So I was trying to connect with you guys because I heard you talk last night, interviewing a doctor from another state. And I wanted to get connected to the doctor also.
Okay, so the question of today is, have we lost professionalism in the barbershops or the salons?
No. You just let me know that you are doing something that you want to drive people to register. I don't know exactly what you are doing.
Okay, well, do me a favor. Call the number 526-1400, extension.
Okay, let me get a pen.
All right, well, this is what you can do. As we continue we're going to be giving out the number throughout the entire show. Okay?
Okay.
All right, and thank you so much for calling. All right, and again, that number is 202-526-1400. 1400, extension 45. What we're doing, everyone, if you're just tuning in to the Sea Island Morning Show, we have a hot topic. Have we lost professionalism in the barbershops or salons? I want to hear from you. 1-800-450-7876. Have we lost professionalism in the black barbershops or salons? Now, Andre, go ahead. You hit a situation or question.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna tell y'all, I really believe that there is a difference between commodity and professionalism. I mean, professionalism is, when the lack of professionalism is if you start cussing in the salon and, talking about stuff that, is a little bit too racy for, let's say, a young audience. Because a lot of times I go in the shops around the DMV and I see a lot of young kids in there. And, of course, they sitting around listening to everything that's being said.
Everything.
So, a lot of stuff they go home and start repeating. And their mom like, where you got that from? You ain't never heard that from me. So you don't want to have that kind of stuff going on in the shop. But, I mean, the things being really funny and, joking with everybody and laughing and watching good movies and just hanging out. That's what we do in barbershops. It's what I've been doing my whole life.
All right. All right, everyone. That was Andre. I have my own opinion when we come back. Listen to me while we go on break. Start calling us now. 1-800-450-7876. Have we lost professionalism in the barbershops or salons? This is Sea Island in the morning. We'll be back after these messages.
News updates on the web at WOLDCnews.com.
Good morning, I'm Doug Parrish. Latest from NewsOne.com, brought to you in part by Centrum Silver. For the most amazing parts of you, learn more at Centrum.com. Folks who work for the U.S. Postal Service are in mourning after one of their own was shot and killed over the weekend. Police are investigating after a letter carrier was killed in Landover. Lauren Murphy has more.
Police say 26-year-old Tyson Barnett was gunned down while delivering mail in the 1600 block of Reed Street in Landover. He was found suffering from several gunshot wounds and died at the scene. The U.S. Postal Service is offering a reward of up to $100,000 for any information leading to an arrest or conviction in this case.
Lauren Murphy reporting. A Maryland woman who worked for one of Washington's biggest nonprofits is accused of making herself a huge profit in an embezzling scheme. The Washington Post reports Ephonia Green is scheduled for a court appearance today. She's accused of stealing more than $5 million while working as an administrative assistant at the Association of American Medical Colleges. We're monitoring a winter storm system that could have an impact on your Thanksgiving travel. Forecasters say the D.C. region will get rain and lots of it by Wednesday. Points north and west of D.C. could see snow. The massive storm system is expected to be over the Mid-Atlantic and the Northeast by Wednesday, which is traditionally the biggest travel day of the holiday season. Millions will be watching tonight as the Washington Redskins host the 49ers on Monday Night Football. Robert Griffin III says it's a big game for his teammates.
They play physical. It's going to be a challenge, and you got to accept that challenge.
It's been a disappointing season for the Redskins, but a win tonight would be a big moral victory. That's for sure. We're brought to you in part by Easy Pass Maryland. Take the hassle out of holiday travel. Pick up an Easy Pass at your giant food store. I'm Doug Parrish. When you're looking for news for Black America, go to NewsOne.com.
News updates on the web at WOLDCnews.com.
Oh, yes. All right, everyone, we're back here live. We're talking today on have we lost professionalism in the barbershops or the salons? I tell you, the phones have been jumping all morning. You know that we have the Celebrity Beauty Weekend. We may give away a ticket or two before the end of the show. We also have Glenn Jackson coming up in the next hour. Let's go to Elizabeth on the phone line 1. Elizabeth Tink, who happens to be the manager at the Sea Island Signature Salon, 705 Florida Avenue. Good morning, Elizabeth Tink. Talk to me today. Have we lost professionalism in the barbershop or salons?
Good morning, Mr. Sea Island. Yes, I think that we have, Mr. Bennett. In a lot of salons we have, but not at the Signature Salon. I think because we're in the service industry, professionalism is at the top of the list. We need it. People come not just for their hairstyles, but they come for service as well. So professionalism is the foundation for that.
All right, so when we talk about have we lost the professionalism, and you said in a lot of salons we have, give me some examples of not being professional in the salon.
Prime example, while you have a client in your chair, your stylist should not be on a phone call talking about the party the night before.
Okay, now that's one of mine. Let me scratch that off, everybody. My listeners, I told you in the top of the show I had 10, and one of them was talking on the phone. Go ahead.
Yes. 2, I think all clients who come through the front door should be greeted with a pleasant smile and a warm exception.
Okay, and that's another one, not to cut you off. Not speaking when clients enter into the building. I don't understand, Elizabeth Ting, how in the world that we are living our lives and making our money and paying our car notes and light bills and insurance off of clients walking the door. And there's some salons that have clients who walk in the door and no one greet them, especially the barbershop. I have a pet peeve. I have a problem when I come into the barbershop and no one speaks to me. Everybody will look and keep cutting, and I just have a seat. No one greets me, tell me to have a seat, we'll be next. No one has any kind of dialogue until it's time for their chair to be free. I got a major problem with that. And let me tell you something. I have been in barbershops, and I would give them a 15-minute rule. You don't speak to me upon the, and that was when I was younger. When you don't speak to me from the first 15 minutes, I'm leaving. Now I walk in the door, I'm going to look around, I'm going to wait around, I'm going to give you about 30 seconds. You don't open up your mouth, I'm going to turn right back around. Go ahead, ma'am.
Yes. And I think that's I think that you should do that. You should demand it because it should be given. Even at Chick-fil-A, they greet you when you come in the door.
Absolutely.
So why not greet your clients, who are getting a much more expensive service when they come through the door? I just think that it just needs to be done. The client comes, again, like I said earlier, for a service and an experience, and you want to make them feel welcome. We call our clients our guests because that's how we treat them, like our guests, because they are. So professionalism is a must. Also, I think if you're not going to service your client as soon as they get through the door, then the lines of communication should remain open. Taking their coats, asking them if they need anything, making sure they're okay. These things are just common courtesy to me, but they are professionalism as well.
Okay, very good. All right, ma'am. Thank you so much for your comment. All right, everyone. Today we're talking about have we lost professionalism in the salon, in the barbershop. When we talk about things that stylists and barbers need to do, one of them is, if everyone that's listening to me, if you know a DC stylist or barber, you need to get on the phone and you need to call them now and you need to tell them, you need to get a pen and write this down. They need to call the 202-526-1400 extension 45 number. That is, and one thing that my mother said to me, Aunt Ray, stop begging people to do what they're supposed to do.
That's right.
Stop trying to create the picture and see the importance of them renewing their license on time, because if they come to me after the conference is over, it's going to cost a lot of money for them to get their 6 CEUs when we're offering a low price. It's only $129 for all 6 classes. It's a dynamite package. It includes 40 vendors. It also includes over 30 classrooms. 30 teachers that's going to be instructed during the CEU conference. Now, that conference also, everyone, is open to the general public. Tickets are only $10 for 1 day and $15 for 2 days. You will be able to come in and enjoy over 40 beauty and barber vendors. You will get discounted products. We're also, Alonzo, giving away 10,000 products at the convention center to the people that come down there. We have everything from motions to dark and lovely, soft sheen cotton products. We have so many products that we're going to be giving away, samples, so clients can test them, try them. If they like them, then they can purchase them. Let's go to line one. Today we're talking about how have we lost professionalism in the barbershops and salons. Let's go to line one. Good morning. Welcome to the Sea Island Morning Show.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing awesome. What's your comment?
Well, I was really touched on that subject. My name is Natalie Nicole, and I just opened up a beauty lounge in D.C., and one of the main reasons why I opened up my location was because of the loss of professionalism in the salons. I was jumping from salon to salon, and I just wasn't impressed with the overall management, and the customer service that hierarchy was providing, So I do think that we need to bring it back to the basics, as like my ladies will teach us in customer service, and, really having some etiquette inside of the salon. So.
All right, so let me ask you this. Then your first name is Natalie?
Yes.
Okay, so Natalie, let me ask you this. Give me 3 ways that you would bring professionalism back into the industry. What would be 3 things that you would do at your place?
3 things that I would do at my place.
Or 3 things that you do.
3 things that I do is integrity, just being integral from our products to our services and making sure that the customer feels that they're being enhanced and they're not being used, So when someone comes to your location, they are trusting you that you're going to give them an overall, better service and enhance what, they came in there for. So when, a client comes in, I just want them to know that we respect them and that we want them to have an overall exciting experience. So we make sure that our products are sustainable, our service is impeccable, and that we can please them from A to Z. So that's the first one.
Okay.
The second one I would say is, retention. After the client leaves, you want to make sure that that client is leaving happy. Sometimes people might put a little front, or because they don't want to hurt your feelings. But we have an excellent follow-up from our classes to our actual services, from our products. We call each client back to see how the experience was. And now the product is working for them. How do they feel?
Now, Natalie, now you speaking right to me. Now, that's good stuff. Go ahead. What's your last one before I hang up on you? Because you taking over, because that's some good stuff, Natalie. First, integrity. Second, retention. I'm going to preach on that on Thursday. Go ahead.
Our last one I would say is we have a loyalty program. A lot of times I would say that a lot of salon professionals, instead of working together, they want to be competitive. There's enough money for everybody. So what I do is I work with a lot of different salon owners in creating a loyalty program where they could just continue to come back to the salon versus going into their home and getting a discount. From coming into our location and coming into our partner locations, which are my affiliates that I work with. So when customers...
Well, I'm going to tell you this, Natalie. On Thursday, on my student body meeting, attention all staff and students. Today, I just want to touch on 3 things. Today, first, I want to talk about integrity with your clients. Secondly, I want to talk about retention. And finally, I want to talk about loyalty.
Say that one more time.
Loyalty. How to have them, to make them come back to you and be loyal to the program at the Bennett Career Institute. Thank you, Natalie. Thank you for my notes for Thursday.
You said that's the island.
Natalie, you were so good because I feel lifted now. Thank you. So, Natalie, you were so good. Come on and give us, I'm going to let you do your shout before I hang up on you. Now, tell us where you located, where can the clients get in touch with you, because that was good today. That was good.
Okay. Thank you for your time as well. Well, my name is Natalie Nicole again. I'm a beauty activist and therapist. I just opened up a location called Plush Beauty Box that's located in the Brooklyn area in Washington, D.C. Northeast. Our address is 3617 12th Street.
Okay.
Northeast,
Is you around the corner?
Yes, I'm right around the corner.
Okay. Very good. All right. Now give us your phone number.
202-553 3435. We are a very unique situation over here. We promote women empowerment. We have different classes on self-esteem, hygiene, hair care, makeup. I'm also a national trainer with Motives Cosmetics, so I teach all eco-friendly beauty practices in our location.
Okay, very good. All right, Miss Natalie Nicole, it was a pleasure talking with you today.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Yes, indeed. All right, everybody. Now, before we go to break, let me just finish that comment. Now, for those of you, if you know a beauty professional, you want them to call now to register for those 6 CEUs that's mandated by the law. What I do not want to happen is when the renewal time comes and they can't get their license renewed, can't make any money, can't be in the shop with an expired license, then they're going to come running to the Bennett Career Institute. We don't want that to happen. Get on the phone during the break, and we want you to call that beauty professional. But guess what? For all of my listeners, the beauty weekend is open to the public. It is an awesome conference. The Lord gave me that conference. That is every person walking up and down the street who want to get some cheap clippers, who want to get some discounted clippers and edges. If you want to take a class on how to get the bump from the back of your head, if you want to talk to beauty professionals, it's open to the public. And guess what? We're doing free hair, free facials, free nails, free manicures. Everything is free once you pay that $10 for 1 day and $15 for 2 days. All the classes you can ever take. There's a different class from a celebrity artist every hour on both days. It is awesome. 202-526-1400, extension 45. Call now. Get your tickets or register for the conference. This is C. Allen. We have to take a commercial break. We'll be back after these messages.
News updates on the web at WOLDCnews.com.
Good morning. This WOL traffic update is brought to you by UPS. On the Beltway, the outer loop a little bit better now from College Park to Silver Spring. On eastbound St. Barnabas Road after Temple Hill Road, construction in the right lane at Dallas Drive, so look out for that once again today. On the freeway, southbound 395, the westbound freeway toward the 14th Street Bridge from the 3rd Street Tunnel is okay. No accidents or incidents on New York Avenue. UPS is hiring seasonal package delivery drivers for their Northern Virginia locations. Wages start at $16.10 an hour. Full-time days, no CDL required. UPSjobs.com, equal opportunity employer. Now your WOL weather forecast brought to you by Garmin. For today, partly cloudy, high near 38. Some clouds overnight down to 32. Tomorrow, rain heavy at times, highs in the 40s. Don't hate traffic, avoid it. Get a Garmin Nuvi with subscription-free HD digital traffic. Keep moving, drive with Garmin, the most trusted name in GPS. Steve Hirschhorn for News Talk 1450 WOL, where information is power.
How's your lunch?
Good, Dad, but not as good as the sandwiches you used to make.
Really?
Sure. Remember how you'd melt the cheese first and dry the pickles on a paper towel so they didn't make the bread soggy? Oh, and then you'd cut it into 4 pieces with no crust?
I did all that.
Geez, Dad. How would anyone forget something like that?
You never know which moments will be the ones they'll remember forever, so take time to be a dad today. Learn more at 1-877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov.
Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
We inherited this business from our father.
Who got it from his father.
We needed an emergency preparedness plan in case of fire, cyber attack,
or anything.
So we went to ready.gov and got free checklists, templates, and more to be prepared. Thanks to ready.gov, we worry less about keeping Rizzo and Sons in business.
Only it should be Rizzo and Grandsons.
And granddaughter.
Right.
Go to ready.gov for details on creating an emergency preparedness plan. Becoming a success is hard work. Protecting it isn't. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, the Ad Council, and this station.
News updates on the web at WOLDCnews.com.
All right, everyone, we're back here live, the Sea Island Morning Show with Andre. We're just super duper excited to be here. I'm telling you, we only have about 13 minutes left in this segment. Then the next hour, our good friend of the show, Glenn Jackson, is going to be either in studio or on the phone. I'm not quite sure.
I think he's calling in.
Okay. And we're going to be talking about the Golden Scissors Awards December the 8th. It's going to be here in Silver Spring, Maryland. So we're going to talk about all of that on the next hour. So listen, for those of you who are just tuning in, one of the things that I think it is important for you to start what you're doing now and go ahead. Do not wait till the last minute. the Celebrity Beauty Symposium, Washington, D.C., January the 12th and 13th. But first and foremost, if there's anyone out there that's interested in makeup, if you want to take celebrity makeup classes, I want you to call the number. If you want to take celebrity makeup classes, we got all kind of plans and financial arrangements for you. You do not want to miss Oprah Winfrey's makeup artist for over 21 years, Reggie Wells. You do not want to miss Kevin James Bennett, a 2-time Emmy Award winner. You do not want to miss the bridal guru, Tana Jackson, teaching you how to do bridal makeup. You do not want to miss Michaela Warabi as she do her foundations, African lady doing foundations, and yes. And then the last one is the one, the only Danessa Myricks, who is the founder and the creator of IMakeYouBeautiful.com. She is going to be doing lashes and contouring and eyes and brows and oh my God, if you're interested in taking makeup classes during that conference, an awesome time, and you become certified as a makeup artist, then you get your MAC 40% discount and all those discounts from the supply stores. My operators are standing by at the Bennett Career Institute, which is 202-526-1400, extension 45. I think it's important that you do that. That's for makeup. And if you just want to get tickets, now some of you say, well, I'm not, if you're online, just go right to BennettCareerInstitute.org or C. Allen Morning Show, CALAN morningshow.com. Make sure you like the page. And speaking of that, make sure you follow me on Twitter. And follow on Twitter is the C. Allen Morning, CALAN Morning. And on Instagram is Chet, CHET, Beauty King Bennett. So you have an opportunity to follow me on all of those areas, but you definitely want to call now and get your ticket. Either go online to BennettCareerInstitute.org or CALAN morningshow.com and get your tickets, or make sure you call us at the 202-526-1400, extension 45. Then Andre, and then when it comes to those vendors, because Andre's in charge of the vendors, tell my listeners some of the people that they'll be able to get discounted products and beauty supplies and all this stuff from.
Look, I'm so excited, and I know C. Allen, he always be telling me to pipe down, because when I start talking about my vendors, these vendors that we're dealing with at this conference.
Oh, so then they're his vendors.
They're my vendors.
Oh, okay.
I love my vendors. Trust me. And listen, when I start talking about these vendors, I get so amped up. But let me tell you who's going to be there. I mean, just the short list, because this is the short list. It's changed since this brochure came out. But we have Soft Sheen Carson. We have Kiss Cosmetics, Tracy Lynn, Sense by Barbara, It Works, True Diva Bath and Body Works, True Diva, Avon, the Marketing Showcase, Evie Juices, Evie, you out there? I know you out there listening. Good love to Evie Juices, Nairobi, Sequence.
He is so country.
I'm so country.
Give a big shout out to Evie. Hey, he's so country.
I am. I never denied that. Never denied it. Mid-Atlantic Beauty Design. We're gonna have some furniture. It's gonna be off the chain, y'all. Listen, it's incredible. We got I'll Make You Beautiful, Danessa Myricks, Red Pro, Sonia Michelle Fletcher, Zenith Career Institute, Black Opal, Flory Roberts, Lash Out, Motives Cosmetics, Mazzani, Paul's Beauty Supply, Ergo Research Smoothie System.
Okay, that's enough. Don't give them
I
everything.
got three more. I got to tell them these last three, because this is really important.
He's such a country.
And I'm so lit. I begin so.
Go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
Influence. We got influence coming, y'all. Designer Berg and Burmax.
Okay, then also everyone, Henry just landed. Stacy Richards with Design Essentials.
Yes, I did.
Yes, he just landed. Who else?
The weave company, I forget their name,
and the sheer company.
Yeah, the sheer
so
company.
Listen to me, everybody. Basically what's happening is that it is our version of a Bronner Brothers. It is our version of Sisters Only. It is our version of a Black Expo, but it's all geared towards stylists, barbers, and also anybody that's out there that do your own hair, especially for the braiders, the natural hair care people. We have estheticians that's going to train you, talk to you about your skin. Now, let me tell y'all something. This conference, just for $10 one day or $15 2 days, it gives you a chance to see a dermatologist. It gives you a chance to see a weight loss doctor. You'll get a chance to see so many beauty professionals. LA Hair, Angie C. Styles, McCrae from Chicago Licious. You have the owner of Salon Lamarge, Jamal Edmonds, the owner of Evie Salon, Evie Peterson. I'm telling you, you have Tink Richardson, who just called in earlier. You have Acia Williams, the natural hair guru, who has won the weaving award at the Bennett Career Institute 3 years in a row. My God. And all of this is just, you pay that $10 now or $15, and you need to do it while tickets last. Even though we're at the convention center, it's not one of those things where we can just sell all the way up. No, there are restrictions. We want you to come in, bring all your family and friends. If you are with an organization and you have a lot of girls or you have a lot of guys, we're doing free haircuts for the guys. We're doing free hairstyles for the girls. We're doing complete transformations. We even have Katina Rayford, the transformer, is going to be there, and she's going to be doing, but wait a minute, not only that, Alonzo, well, listen to this. Janelle Sealy Smith, Celebrity Stylist Janelle, who came down with Derek J from the Housewives of Atlanta, she did a full sewn-in weave for 10 minutes. She's going to do something on regular people.
Yes,
you will get a full sewn-in weave, 10 minutes, and it's not going to cost you anything. Good God Almighty!
And the cool, that's the cool thing about this whole thing. You pay
that's what I'm talking about.
You pay $10, you get all of these free classes, all this free makeup,
free products.
Listen, I'm gonna be in the house. See, Alan. I'm gonna be there.
Yeah, because you had no other choice.
You're right.
But
you're right. You're right. You're right about that.
Alonzo, he talks about, I'm gonna be there. Yeah, you're gonna be there because you on the clock, black man.
Yeah, I'm in the house.
Praise him.
But let me tell y'all something, man. This is a wonderful opportunity. I don't know. Look, it's not too many places in the world where you can come get all of this stuff at the same time, all of these different features at the same time for such an economical price.
Yes.
I mean, and we're going to come out and we're going to have fun. I mean, Ciala, you didn't even tell them about all of the competitions we have, man.
Yeah, because this is what we're going to do, everybody. Next week, next week's show is going to be C. Allen's favorites. Next week's show is going to be telling you what's going to be on the website that you should purchase for Christmas. Next week, we're talking to a lot of the vendors. Henri have the vendors scheduled for next week, as well as the celebrity artist that's doing free classes to you. Next week show is the Celebrity Beauty Symposium show and C. Allen favorites. So a lot of the vendors, for an example, let me tell y'all something. Sense by Barbara. We're going to be giving some of that away next week. Next week is our giveaway show, C. Allen favorites, because Sense by Barbara is off the hook.
Yes,
somebody like True Diva Bath and Body Works, her new product, Kick Your Ash.
Oh, yes.
ASH.
True Diva, I need some ash.
And when I tell you, when we talk, and you know it's wintertime, I looked at my black hands today, and they were crispy. Crispy white.
Look like I had my hands in a bag of flour this morning when I woke up. We got to kick that ass.
Yeah. So it is so important. It is so important. It is so important that we let you taste and we let you feel and we let you touch some of our vendors before January. So it is important, everybody. I'm telling you, you can't beat a $10 ticket. You better get them while supplies last. Anybody know C. Allen know I raised the price on you in a minute, baby. Like those 6 CEU classes were $99 and now it's $129. I don't want you to wait around and them $10 and $15 tickets go up, but they will increase. So we want you to start what you're doing now and call 202-526-1400. Extension 45. But make sure you go to the BennettCareerInstitute.org website. You get a chance to see everything that we're talking about, the symposium, the flyers, all of that. All right, everybody, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to be talking to Glenn Jackson Productions, the Golden Scissors Awards. I believe they're celebrating a whole lot of years. We're going to talk about all of that and everything. But go ahead and call our office, 202-526-1400. Extension 45 for your show tickets. We'll be back after these messages.
I can see the stars all the way from here.
News Talk 1450 WOL and WOLDCnews.com.
Together now, we can make it better now. Come on, can we do it?
You know that we can.
We rope it up,
cause we know how to jump.
we roll it out,
We know how to stay.
we'll cut it down,
We know what to eat.
we'll swap it out.
We eat healthy stuff.
Just moving a little and eating better every day can help make you and your kids healthier. Search We Can online to find doable tips and activities that you can use every day. That's We Can, a message from the Ad Council, HHS, and NIH's We Can program.
Today might be the day I drop out of school. Today could be the last day I try. My parents alone can't stop me. My friends can't even stop me. But you might be able to. With United Way, you could tutor me, be my mentor, or volunteer to just read with me. If someone had helped me earlier, I might not be struggling. And studies prove that kids who read well by 3rd grade are more likely to graduate. There are tons of ways people like you can help kids like me stay in school. And United Way is calling for you to be one of them. Because it takes 12 years to create a graduate. It takes about the same time to create a dropout. And the difference between me becoming one or the other could be you. Make me a success, not a statistic.
Take the pledge to volunteer now at unitedway.org. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
Our lives are affected every day by innovations from the minds of African Americans. Support the United Negro College Fund because a mind is a terrible thing to waste. Visit uncf.org or call 1-800-332-UNCF. Brought to you by UNCF and the Ad Council.
1450 WOL, Washington, D.C. and WPRS HD2 Waldorf, Washington. A Radio 1 station and worldwide at WOLDCnews.com.
The views and opinions of the following show do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of News Talk 1450 WOL, Radio 1 Incorporated, or their management.
Good morning out there in the radio land. See, I just be laughing at me because I'm so country. But y'all, it just is what it is. I'm country. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Lord have mercy. But y'all, it is what it is.
Ain't nothing
I'm
wrong
country.
with that. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Oh, my God. All right, everyone, listen here. Welcome back.
Seattle Morning Show.
Yes, to another hour of the Seattle Morning Show. If you are just tuning in with us, we had a really hot topic, our last section, our first hour. The hot topic was, have we lost professionalism in the barbershop and salons? The reason why we were talking about that, Alonzo, is because I was invited as a panelist on another talk show, another radio show. We won't mention their names here in Washington, D.C., but the phones was really jumping, and I said, hey, that's a great topic for me to discuss. So we did, and I'm really glad that everyone called in. Also, in the last hour, we were talking about, and we're going to pick that back up after we talked to Glenn, but we were talking about the Celebrity Beauty Weekend in Washington, D.C. If you didn't get that number before the break, it's 202-526-1400, and that extension is 45. The 30 free classes, all the products, the hair services, nail polishes, lashes, everything is free with over 40 vendors at the Washington, D.C. Convention Center. But guess what, Andre?
What's that, sir?
We have a special guest on the line.
Yes, we do.
Yes, indeed. We have a special guest on the line, Mr. Glenn Jackson of the Glenn Jackson Productions. And let me tell you something. Well, first of all, good morning, Glenn.
Good morning, Mr. Bennett. How are you doing this morning?
Absolutely awesome. So listen here before we get started. Now, let me just tell you this, everyone. On December the 8th, correct? Yes.
That's correct.
On December the 8th, Glenn Jackson is going to be celebrating 22 years.
Wow.
22 years. So today we're going to talk to him in detail. We want to hear all about what is the Golden Scissors Awards. Glenn Jackson, 22 years. He's going to be doing the annual Golden Scissors Awards Hair Africa. So we got to talk to him about Hair Africa. And 22 years in the industry of doing hair shows. Let me just say this. For those of you who know me, we have a lot of listeners and a lot of our students and friends. Everyone know that Glenn Jackson and I have been personal friends for a very, very long time. When I started in the industry on Rhode Island Avenue, I will never forget it. A tall gentleman came in the door with flashy jewelry, Alonzo. He had flashy jewelry. He was all flashy. He came in the door and he was trying to sell me the picture or trying to show me something that I already needed to know, and that was how to take my business to the next level by showcasing the students on a stage where they can get up and show off and all of that. And Glenn Jackson and I became personal friends, and I tell you, the road has been a wonderful road in reference to all of the places that Glenn has taken me to assist him with his hair shows. You know, a lot of the things that I'm doing today spin off of our friendship, and the things that Glenn has showed me and has taught me over the years. Has always been a generous person. So let me just share this with you. When we talk about December the 8th, everyone listening to me, I don't care if you are from grandma to the little kid that's out because of Thanksgiving, you need to come out. Silver Spring, you need to come out to the Golden Scissors Awards. He has 3 different shows. He's going to tell us all about that. And one thing that Glenn is doing, because he's touching so many lives, he gives so much money to the community, but he also have Golden Scissor Kids. So I'm going to stop talking. I want you, Glenn, because I know you know how to talk now, because I know you do now. So first, let's get started on who is Glenn Jackson, how did the Golden Scissors Awards come about, and lead us up to what's going to happen on December the 8th.
Okay, well, I've been doing the show for 22 years, but I've been in the event production business for about a total of 27 years. So it's been a really, really long journey. I kind of started the show once I arrived here in Washington. I was actually in the United States Navy. And back in those days, there was a show that was produced by a group called Shashi Productions. And that was Sheila and Nat. And that show was at the Sphinx nightclub. And the stylist was a salon located off of 8th Street. At the time, the salon was called Erotica. And, of course, they were erotic on stage. And the commentators didn't show up. And so they said, the commentators didn't show up. The stylist freaked out. And I said, well, I don't know what a commentator does, but I'll try to help out. And the girl was like, well, they talk. And I said, well, what do they talk about? And she says, they talk about hair. I said, well, I don't know nothing about no hair, but I'll try. And from that day, I think they paid me $50 to commentate that show. But the very next day, I said to myself, I said, you know what, I probably could do this. And at that point, we came up with something that stylists would celebrate and be able to be a part of. But we had to come up with a name, and, of course, the name had to be something relative to barbers and stylists, and that's how we came up with Golden Scissors. And we pretty much just had wooden scissors that we spray painted gold, and we started the show, and it's been some 22 years later.
Wow, that's awesome.
That is absolutely fantastic. And Glenn, and you know I know so much. So listen, let's go into some of the, as a business owner, because we want to encourage other people. You as a business owner, what were some of the challenges that you had to overcome, and what would be your advice to those out there that want to continue to be an owner in a beauty industry or a beauty business?
I think it's important, and especially for the African American community, to realize that if you're going to build your business and it to be successful, you have to be willing to think out of the box. And that means come up with relative things that are kind of interactive that your competitors are not necessarily doing in the marketplace. You know, I fell in a catch-22 because I was really passionate about this business. This was something I really loved. I could work for free and not even get paid, and it wouldn't even be a second thought for me because I was doing something that I love. And I think so often barbers and stylists start these businesses that they're passionate about, but they have no idea of how they're going to market it or elevate it to the next level. And sometimes, you know, when people say hire people that are great in areas where you're not great, and sometimes we won't allow other folks to come in and kind of help us achieve our goal. And so for me, the Golden Scissors was really just an outlet to show that we could get people to come together, do something great, and celebrate.
I think the hardest part for me would probably be the win and the lose. Because most people, when they enter the show, the first thing they think about is, I want to just win, 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 win. But then when they don't win, they kind of like lose their minds, and they totally miss the reason why we do the show.
Okay. So then speaking of that, now let's talk about what's going to happen. So now you know a little bit about Glenn Jackson, everyone, and Glenn Jackson is a fixture in Washington, D.C. Everyone, if you have never been to a Glenn Jackson production, Golden Sisters, one of the things, Glenn, that I miss and one of the things that I truly love about your shows is the opening. Can you give us a little bit about, because your openings is always awesome. Oh, okay. All right, everyone. So listen, we're going to wait for Glenn Jackson to call back. The phone call dropped. Thank you so much. I know what you were saying. All right, we're going to give him a chance to give us a call back. And while he's doing that, what we want you to do, everyone, is we want you to keep in mind that you got to visit all of our websites. Visit our websites, callenmorningshow.com, Bennett Career Institute. .org. Okay, we have Glenn Jackson back. Okay, you scared me a little bit. So Glenn,
I'm actually, I'm sorry, I'm actually in transit, but no problem. Go ahead, Mr. Bennett.
Okay, so good. So now listen. Now, one of the things that I love the most about your event, the Golden Sisters Awards, I love the most is the grand opening. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, you got to be on time for the opening of the show. I know you can't tell me about it, but can you just give me just a tap of what's going to happen for the grand opening? Just a little something. Just a tap.
A tap. Well, it has to be mesmerizing. Each year culminates a different ideal and a concept. Mr. Bennett, I would be sitting up here lying to you if I told you that after 22 years, you know, I had to keep finding my wow factor. And that's why this year we called it Hair Africa, because I've gotten a call that I really would like to take the show to Lagos, Nigeria.
Wow.
And so this was kind of like the preparation for us to start to make that preparation happen. You know, we had initially, when we came up with Hair Africa, the goal was that we were going to go to Lagos. And then, of course, when the funding didn't happen, we never did it. So I said, you know what, we'll just do Hair Africa here. And so it will be colorful. It will be exciting. It will launch our new product line, which is called Coconut Sun, which is a silkening spray. We will unveil that. We will also introduce our platinum partner, Bobby Boss, which as of December the 8th, Mr. Bennett, they would have given away over $100,000 directly back into the community. And so it has just been a testimonial that, you know, sometimes you will never be a star in your own backyard, but you never know when people are watching, because this particular brand doesn't even live in Washington, D.C. They're all the way in Los Angeles. So to just think that they would see enough value in something that I'm doing, that they would come to me for the sole purpose of giving back to the community.
And you know what, Glenn, let me just say this. I'm going to let you talk on Ray in a second. Let me just say this. One of the things that I love about you, Glenn Jackson, is that how you would take something negative and turn it into something positive. And I'm not saying this to fluff it out. I'm telling the truth. That's one of the things that I appreciate about you. I'm going to tell you why. Because I can remember when the Asian community first started coming into the area, and they started taking over everything, and they started dominating a lot of the black hair business. One of the things that you decided to do was to work with them. And people would say things like, why is he working with the Asian community? But what you did was you turned that negative thing into a positive thing, because you made sure that they put money back into the local African American community. So African American people can't just say they come in and they do this, they do that, because you make sure that that money goes back into the hands of the everyday stylists and barbers. I think that deserves an applause. Wait a minute, we got to applaud you. That deserves an applause, because that's what I've seen you do firsthand.
It's a serious issue, and it's a serious issue for me. And I heard Russ Parr and Tom Joyner and Doug Banks and all of them talk about, you know, we as a community, we should buy beauty supply stores, as if to say that that's going to make a niche into what has happened in this country as a United States platform for our community. It's just so many huge Korean beauty supply dealers and stores nationwide. there is, for us to catch up to where they are some almost 25 years later, it will take us years to do it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. So I definitely take my hat off to you. I'm ready to question.
Yeah, how you doing, Glenn? How you doing this morning?
I'm doing well, thank you.
All right. Listen, I got a question for you, and we'll probably have to answer it after we come back from break. But my question to you is, you have been at this for 22 years. 22 years. That's a career. And at the end of the day, the industry, it changes so much every day. How does a person stay relevant? For 22 years, what's the secret to Glenn Jackson being so relevant over these 22 years?
Well, I think I'm crazy. That's one. And,
baby, it's more than thinking. It's more than thinking.
You have to be a little crazy to take this kind of glutton for punishment, because it's not a thankful job. Mr. Bennett can relate, being a business person in the market. You do all that you can do to create great things, and there's always going to be those folks that don't see the value. There are always going to be those folks that's going to tear down. There are always going to be those folks that's going to pull the negative out of any great situation.
Right. That's right.
And you just got to keep focused to your goal. When my friends started doing stuff, I was so at peace, because I knew then finally they would see what I had been going through for years with people. And it's not fun after you've taken all your money and invested into something, and then at the end of the day, all that's left is what you would hope to be some appreciation, and sometimes that don't even happen.
Exactly, and that's a great moment to pause. Glenn, don't go anywhere.
I'm not.
All right, everyone, this is C. Allen. We're here, 1450 AM WOL. We have the one, the only Glenn Jackson Productions. When we come back, we're going to talk about what's going to take place on December the 8th and how you can get your tickets. I want you to sit back and relax. We'll be back after these messages.
News Talk 1450 WOL and WOLDCnews.com.
Good morning. This WOL Traffic and Weather Report brought to you by Robitussin on the westbound freeway heading from South Capitol Street to 6th and 7th Street Southwest. It was an accident in the right lane. It's slowing you down from about South Capitol Street as you head toward the 3rd Street Tunnel and beyond to 6th and 7th Street. So watch out for a little bit of a backup there, and you want to stay to the left on the freeway. On New York Avenue, inbound and outbound should find everything open. They're doing some construction today on Powder Mill Road westbound at Cherry Hill Road. The right lane is closed there for road work. Control your cough with Robitussin, the #1 pharmacist recommended brand for cough, cold, and flu combinations. Don't suffer the consequences. Now your WOL weather forecast for today: partly cloudy. Highs in the upper 30s for tonight. Cloudy down to about 32 for low tomorrow. Wintry mix changing to all rain by middle of the day, and a high in the 40s. Steve Hirschhorn for News Talk 1450 AM WOL, where information is power.
And it says here that vision loss to glaucoma can't be restored.
I heard that glaucoma is the leading cause of blindness for Hispanics and African Americans.
So everyone should get an eye exam at least every 2 years.
Especially people over 60.
You might have glaucoma and not even know it. Call 1-800-437-2423 for a free brochure from National Glaucoma Research. 1-800-437-2423.
Morning, gentlemen. Want to hear our specials?
Sure.
First, we have the seafood special. It's been sitting around here for a week. We're known around these parts for our food poisoning.
Wouldn't it be great if you could be warned of life's risks? If you have diabetes, you can. It's called A1C, a simple blood test that can help measure your risk of complications from diabetes. To find out more, go to www.diabetesa1c.org. Brought to you by the American Diabetes Association, Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation International, and the Ad Council.
News Talk 1450 WOL AM, where information is power.
Oh, yes. All right, everyone, we're back here live here, nation's capital. We're so excited. We have Glenn Jackson on the line. Glenn Jackson, excuse me, if you're just tuning in, is a staple here in the not only African-American community, but also in the beauty community. And Glenn, before we went to break, I can't express to you how so true, so true that comment was that you made, because at the end of the day, I have traveled with you everywhere from LA to South Carolina. We've been to Dominican Republic, all over the place, and a lot of those opportunities you have afforded me. And just to be there working with you and seeing that, let me be the first to say live on air that all of that, it looks so effortless and it looks so easy because you are a mastermind at it. So it just looks so easy. It's not until you get in that position yourself, and before the evening's over, you can barely walk. Yeah. Everybody is lined up for their checks. Everybody got an attitude, the ones that didn't win. People, mama coming up to you, cussing you out. People, but the worst part is for me, by me having an everyday business, then people drop out the program just because they didn't think that the show was fair. All kinds of stuff happens. And the funny thing...
they miss the whole part, Mr. Bennett, of why they should even be doing this. That's the part that's the crazy part. Yeah. You know, because they miss the part that they should be marketing their business. They should be elevating what they do. Where are their business cards? Where are their press kits? These are the things that they should be doing, but that's not their focus.
No. Well, let me just say this, and we can get back to Golden Sisters. Only thing I would say, Glenn Jackson, is from being on the outside and being on the inside, I just want to say that you continue, no matter what is going on, you continue to push the envelope, because believe it or not, that you are really an icon. You have really opened doors. You have really set paths. A lot of people will not tell you. I will be the first to tell you. Bennett Career Institute and Chad Bennett would not be at the place that they are if it was not for you. So you have to keep going regardless of what happens, regardless of what people do. At the end of the day, we may not talk, but at the end of the day, just know that I really appreciate you and everything that you've done, because one thing I noticed is everything that you said, I noticed have came to light. It has come to pass. And I'm realizing that with the Celebrity Beauty Weekend, where people are slamming doors in our face. Andre is here. He'll tell you, we went to Wisconsin Avenue. We went in and out of every single salon. And I said to myself, you were the first person I thought of. And I said, I don't know how you do it, because I would never do it again. I said, I don't know how for so many years you went in and out of salons trying to create that picture for people who don't even see the picture for themselves.
And it's so hurtful. It's hurtful when you go into places with a good heart, trying to do something great, and then people give you bad energy for no reason, just because of the fact that they're thinking that you're doing something successful. Because it's really about that they think you're doing something successful. They think you're making some money off of it, and that's where the resentment lies. Because there was a conversation this week, and someone was talking about, the Celebrity Weekend, and they was talking about Golden Scissors, and the first thing they said, all they interested in is making the money. And I just looked at the girl and I said, I'm puzzled, because whoever looks at the bills or the expenses or what it costs to execute this at this level, should we have possibly even 10 years prior been in that convention center, Golden Scissors, with the constituents of people that we were working with? Probably not, but we did it anyway.
Well,
we did it anyway. And Helen Johnson, who's one of our honorees this year, I don't know if you remember Miss Johnson, but you should. She was affectionately located on 7th Street at a salon called Crimps. You could always remember looking in the salon and seeing her picture in the salon window right across from the convention center. But when the new convention center came, due to the construction on 7th Street and the long process it took, the customers just kind of went away. And so when I called and told her we were going to be honoring her this year, I mean, she was like so emotional. She said she thought everybody had forgotten her.
Wow. And this is the kind of stuff, everybody, listeners, that we're talking about the impact that the Golden Sisters have on not only the beauty industry but the African American community. So Glenn, let's go, because let's move on to the Golden Sisters, because honey, we could talk about all that other stuff all day long. And unfortunately, what has to happen was God set me up in the bed over this weekend and said that you have to remember. I'm going to tell you what God told me, that we have to remember that we are trailblazers. We don't need nobody to tell us that. We are. We are setting trends and we're setting examples, and we are doing things that a lot of people would not even dream of or think about doing. And I just said, let me just make a quick comment, and then just for those people, because I've heard the same thing. They say you and Glenn are two peas in the pod. Only thing y'all think about is making money, blah, blah, blah. I hear it over and over again. First of all, do you know what I say now? I say you're right. You know why? Because we're in business to make money, first of all. That's number one. So people don't want to talk about that. We won't go there. But the second thing is we are creating a platform, especially for the CEUs. They have to get it somewhere. So you don't want me to do it. You want the white man to come up and do classes, and you give them the money, but you don't want me to do it. But somebody has to do it. But we're not going to go there.
It's a requirement.
Absolutely.
And in order to be within compliance, you have to do it. So why not do it with someone that is trying to do great things? You're doing 30 classes. I mean, that's groundbreaking. Mr. Bennett, when we did America's Next Top Stylist, there was only one person from the whole market that was even considered to be one of the top 11 stylists. Only one of a nationwide campaign.
Wow.
On December the 8th, we're giving away $20,000. There is only one D.C.-based salon that's even in the process. One. And D.C. is only a 20% ratio of our real support factor of who supports this show, because most of the other people come from other parts of the country.
Mm.
Wow.
And that's just from years and years of doing it. And I keep saying to myself, I was thinking, we did Pantene Relax and Natural, which also put in almost $2.5 million in just traveling shows with Pantene through this platform. We did Golden Scissors through Milky Way, which gave away $50,000 directly back in D.C. We did Sensational Hair Isla, which gave another $50,000 between the stylist and the model. We did Milky Way, This Is the Future. They spent millions of dollars pretty much mimicking and copying what I did with Golden Scissors. Hair Battle Spectacular, we created the pilot, which y'all especially saw Derek J. on, but we were the creators of that pilot. And based on the way television work and everybody wants to be the person that's the originator, we could never get the credit for doing the work because they were pretty much taking what we were doing and presenting it to a much larger platform. So it's those kind of things. But my life did not really change until me and Mr. Bennett went to Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic. And there was something that happened, internally, when you go somewhere and you see people take nothing and take that nothing and turn it into something. Because if you got to give something to people, like what we're giving the stylists and barbers every day, the least you can get back is the appreciation. So when we end up seeing these kids with no clothes and no shoes, I said to myself, 22 years of trying to motivate black folk, 22 years of trying to motivate stylists and beauty professionals, I could do something else with my energy. So we created Golden Scissors Global. And Golden Scissors Global is through our kids program, which are mainly kids who had came up through the salons and barbershops, and they promise to bring them to us on the weekend. We have them come to Silver Spring on Sunday. We charge them absolutely no registration fee, so they don't have to feel that we trying to make some money. And all we ask them is that one of the outfits that the kids showcase, that they will donate it to the third world countries. So we will videotape the kids wearing the pieces. Then we will take them overseas and give them to some underprivileged kids and videotape those kids wearing them. So that the kids will start to learn the compassion of giving. So that's our first show, which is at 2:30. And then we'll give away $1,500 there, $500 for the best walk, $1,000 for the best group. Then we have the annual salon competition, which that started with about 26 salons. I think we have a total of 9 featured salons that will feature in the salon professional part. That will be our second show, which will start at 6. That show in itself will give away about $5,000 just in the stage competition. They will also acknowledge Bobby Boss, America's Next Top Stylist. Now, that's by stylists going to the Bobby Boss website, casting their vote on America's Next Top Stylist. But, Mr. Bennett, you would scratch your head if you just realized that all the stylists had to do was go online and encourage their customers to go on the website and vote on their behalf, and they would win thousands and thousands of dollars in cash and prizes. Whoever gets the highest votes online would be America's Next Top Stylist. And if I tell you, that has been a journey just to get them to take action. And we made them do that because stylists always want something with no investment. They
That's
always
right.
want something with no work. They don't ever want to have to do their part of the deal, but they come in with all of these expectations of what they're expecting. Yeah, Atlanta was great, but all they had to do was show up, get a free ticket, get a free hotel, and win cash and prizes. Now, you got to do something to tell the brand that you see the value, like have your customers go to their website. And when I tell you, that has been more than a journey, just motivating on a daily basis. Vote. But let something not be right. They'll be the first to complain about the situation. So we went away from the second show and went to the third show, which was all consumer-driven. So if you do fabulous weave work, it doesn't even cost anything to enter. All you have to do is use the product, and you present your model, $1,000 there. There's another $1,000 in the lock star competition because you can never get those natural lock stylists to get involved because they claim they don't like to be involved with people who use chemicals. That's the story. But there's a platform. Nothing is holding you back from doing what you need to do. Barbers, to be honest, if we can be honest, I think sometimes with African-American male barbers in the market, they can't get past the identity of who you are. I'm not going to change and compromise who I am to please you. I know that my work is great. I know I go above and beyond to give you guys the kind of caliber product that you would be proud to be a part of. I don't do CD clubs. I don't do dirty buildings. I don't do that kind of stuff. So if you can't see the value in that, then you're probably not the client for me. And then our last and final one, which is the Hair Gaga, which is the fantasy category, which is another $1,000 that will be given out in that category.
I think it's awesome. What we're going to do, Glenn, is we got to take a commercial break, but just give us a moment. When we come back, I want you to give our audience how they can be a part and the numbers where they can reach you and the websites they can go on to purchase some of these products. This is C. Allen in the Morning. We're here with Glenn Jackson, the Golden Sisters Awards. We'll be right back after these messages.
News updates on the web at WOLDCnews.com.
I'm Doug Parrish. Here's the latest from News1.com, brought to you in part by Dar Cars. Find your next car at darcars.com. We're monitoring a major winter storm that could have an impact on your Thanksgiving travel. The severe weather is making its way eastward. These were folks stranded at Dallas-Fort Worth International. They had to deal with hundreds of canceled flights.
If it's something else like mechanical or a strike or, something that I feel they do have control over, then yes, it annoys me. But when it's weather-related, really, I don't think there's a whole lot they can do.
Well, forecasters say the D.C. region will get rain, and lots of it by Wednesday. Points north of Washington could see snow. The massive storm system is expected to be over the mid-Atlantic by Wednesday, which is traditionally the biggest travel day of the holiday season. Postal Service workers from the D.C. area gathered last night to pay their respects to a fallen colleague. It comes after 26-year-old Tyson Barnett was shot and killed Saturday night while delivering the mail in Landover. And the case has many postal workers now talking about their safety at night.
You shouldn't have been out here at night in the dark. It's just not safe.
Well, Barnett, 26 years old, was from Upper Marlboro. Prince George's County Police have not yet made any arrests in the case. Well, imagine being able to park on the National Mall. A group wants to build an underground parking garage with 1,000 spaces for mall visitors. The National Coalition to Save Our Mall wants to build right there at the Smithsonian Castle.
I don't think that sounds like a very good idea because it might attract more traffic. Having it torn up would be definitely a sad thing for a while, but probably at the end it's worth it.
Well, some opinions there from mall goers. The coalition continues to push for the project, which it says could be built with private money. The report brought to you in part by Volkswagen Service Express. Fast in and out maintenance, no appointment needed, only at your Volkswagen dealer. I'm Doug Parrish. When you're looking for news for Black America, go to News1.com.
News Talk 1450 WOL-AM, where information is power.
All right, everyone, if you're back here, we're live here in the nation's capital, Washington, D.C. We're here with Glenn Jackson Production. If you are just tuning in, listen, you missed so much, and we're wrapping up this is our end of our conversation with Glenn Jackson. But Glenn Jackson is going to be celebrating 22 years, the annual Golden Scissors Awards. This time it's going to be Hair Africa. If any of you remember seeing Tangles and Locks on TV1, that was the Glenn Jackson show, the Golden Scissors Awards, the background, inside information about how he put the show together. Tangles and Locks, the hair show, is the Golden Scissors Awards. And we're so excited because Glenn Jackson is going to be at the Silver Spring Civic Center. It's located in Silver Spring, One Veterans Plaza. And he will have 3 amazing shows. The first show is the Golden Scissors Kids, and we all love that. Okay, and then he goes into the second show, which is about the hottest salons and hair professionals. And then the third show is the consumer event, and that is where he's doing everything from the lock competition to the fantasy hair gaga competition. And it's 3 exciting shows. He has a combo ticket if you wanted to just spend the evening in Silver Spring looking at the kids show, the salon show, the consumer show. He's going to tell us all about tickets, how we can get them, where we can go to get them. And if we wanted to talk to him, join his vision, join the nation, the Glenn Jackson Nation, how we can be a part of the Glenn Jackson Nation. Let me tell you, yours truly, those of you who love me, I was a part of that nation where I traveled with him all over the world, doing hair shows, making people feel awesome, making people feel great, from students to classes to stage presentations. And I'm telling you, the Glenn Jackson Nation is an awesome place to be. So talk to us, Glenn. Tell us about tickets and how we can get in touch with you and how we can be a part of the nation.
Okay, they can go to www.goldenscissorsawards.com. That's 5 S's, Golden Scissors with an S, awards with an S.com. Or they can dial 202-452-7445. That's 202-452-7445, extension 1. On Instagram, they can go to King of Hair, Glenn Jackson, or they can find me on Facebook or Twitter as King of Hair. You can find me anywhere on the World Wide Web. You can text me directly, or you just go by sending an email at glynjackson@gmail.com.
All right, so what we're going to do, Henry, is to make sure that this get on our website, because Glenn did that way fast. So we got to make sure that we break that down on the website so people can know to go get tickets. So for those of you who didn't get that, this week, go to CALANmorningshow.com, the C. Allen Morning Show. What we will do is, Glenn Jackson was gracious enough to send us some videos and the press release and all that great stuff. So we'll put that up on the website until December the 8th. And we will next week also on my favorite things, Glenn. I'll be doing C. Allen favorites. One of them, of course, is for people to get tickets to the Golden Scissors Awards to come out and enjoy the show. And all of the information will be on the website for next week. So let me just say this before you go. I wanted to send a special shout to people on your team who work so hard. Antoinette Waters, who worked so hard. Cherie and her husband, what's her husband? Carrie. Cherie and Carrie, who worked so hard. And then, Glenn, you do have a wealth of people who are on the back burner, on the back scene that people don't really see, but they help make your clock tick. So all of the people at Glenn Jackson Nation, we appreciate all of you. And we thank you so much. And Glenn, you have trained Cherie right, because I'm really bad with my phone. I go on my phone. Cherie would have sent me 20,000 texts.
Yes, she sent me about 20,000 while I've been on this interview. So she is going text crazy. But Mr. Bennett, let me just say this in closing. I'm so grateful for the opportunity. I'm so grateful for the platform. You've been such an inspiration. I remember when I walked up those stairs on Rhode Island Avenue to now where the school is, and when I there the other day and saw Catholic University, what that whole area has become, and I know it has to be a struggle just to be in the business of business. And I just hope more people will see the bigger picture of how important it is to support successful people in our community, so we can at least have a successful source to go to. And that's what it's about, having that successful source to go to. And if I can share, Mr. Bennett, are you there?
I'm listening. I'm here.
something was life-changing for me this year. You know, every year I have something that I am to learn. God used this show to kind of educate me to something. And I was feeling kind of down. My spirits were really, really down. I was really, you know, broken about it because, you know, my mother had discovered she had pancreatic cancer.
Oh, no.
And so I was, like, really, like, I couldn't do this show. I couldn't even put the energy into even doing it. And so I said to my mother, I said, well, you know, really, I don't think I can do this. And she said, you know what, Glenn, let me just say this to you. She says, Mama not going nowhere to God direct to call her home. And just because this might be a bad thing, that may be a good thing because it maybe was something that God wanted me to know.
Mm.
So I just want you to take your energies and what you're doing and just continue to perfect your God-given talent. And you just never know when something is going to throw you a roadblock. And so you just got to learn how to battle from them roadblocks. And so many people have different journeys and things that they go through. And so every year that I've said I was not going to do the show again, something will happen, some kind of revelation, because realistically, I wasn't even supposed to be doing this any longer. But through the support of Bobby Boss as our platinum partner, because they came on board as a platinum partner, and, of course, through the creation of America's Next Top Stylist, that enabled us to do more for other stylists locally in the area. So I just say when bad things happen, that means it's just opening up a path for something greater and bigger to happen.
Yes. Oh, yes. I believe that. I definitely believe that, Glenn Jackson. And I just tell you to just remain strong and continue to do the work because this has been something that has been divinely restored to you. Mm-hmm. So I want you to continue to do that. Hey, Andre, did I cut you off? Did you have a question real quick for Glenn?
Oh no, I just appreciate Glenn Jackson and the Golden Scissors. I mean, it's really a staple. I mean, I came here from Atlanta, and of course, you know, we always, you know, talk about the Golden Scissors and everything back that, you know, even back home. So I just appreciate you putting a platform out there like what you have, and I just look forward to all of us having a good time coming up here.
Yeah. And that's what it's about. It's about all of us mutually benefiting and being a blessing in each other's life. I had a meeting with the staff of the premiere show in Orlando a couple of weeks ago, and, you know, they were like, well, what separates you from the rest? Well, I'll tell you this. We've given thousands and thousands of dollars have been given back to this community, which don't happen that often at IBS or Premiere. Mm-hmm. So we are holding these people that make billions of dollars off of our community accountable, where they at least have to acknowledge that we are a part of their success by doing something great. Is it painful to see 5 buses go up to IBS and support, and you can't even get a bus of supporters to come support you here locally, and you know you're doing something for that core audience? Mm-hmm. But you just got to keep in mind that, you know, you're given a higher calling, and so those people who see the value will see the value, and those are the people you focus on.
Absolutely. One of the things, Glenn, that we do here, we work with people who work with us. Mm-hmm. You know, and we support people who support us. And I think that you made a good comment. I think one of the things that we have to do, so we'll have you back on the show, because it's more than just the surface. What has to happen is that it is changing the mentality of the people.
Yes.
Because I can.
They don't understand.
No, and I can stand on top of my head. I can stand on top of my head when it comes to doing things local and working with people who work with us and all of that. And I can stand on top of my head when it comes to that. But at the end of
Mr. Bennett, let me just interrupt. I'm sorry, but I have to tell you this because I have to just share this, and this is, you're going to find it funny. We were on a photo shoot on St. Barnabas Road. So the girl needed me to go to the Kmart to get her something, so I did. So I got her something. I bought her some pantyhose for the shoot, got it in line, got out of the line, and was walking to my car. There was a guy that walked behind me, and he called my name. And so I turned around, but I didn't know this guy. I'd never seen this guy before, and I never talked to this guy. He says to me, "What are you doing with all of that money?" I looked at him. I'm like, "Excuse me?" "Oh, I be seeing all the stuff you do. I know you make a whole lot of money." I said, trust me, sir, it's more bills than we will ever see profit. But I'm flattered that you're flattered that you think I'm making all this money. I say, but trust me, it is a labor of love. I do this really because I'm passionate about something that I've started. But I don't know, where do you get this thought process that there's all this money that people are making? You know, in black-owned businesses, 90% of our business, when we're in business, is expensive. That's just the way it is.
And you know what? That's so funny you said that. You know, I have a book that it comes out at the Celebrity Beauty Weekend, and I just signed a deal with the SBA for a 6-month tour that they're sponsoring to send me around. And that's one of the things, Glenn, that we have to talk about, because just even look at the things that you've done, and let's even talk about the convention center. In order to hang a banner, and on a Sunday, you got to pay time and a half just to hang a banner. And we're not talking about the thousands, 20 or so thousands of dollars just to be at a convention center for the weekend. And when you tell people $129 and they say you trying to take my money, because they don't see the concept, they have no clue of the business side.
No clue, Mr. Bennett. No clue. Mr. Bennett, you were there with me with the general manager. You were there with me in the board meetings. You were there. You already know what it's like.
And they have no clue. Only thing they look at is they count the numbers and they count your money, but they have no clue on what goes out.
No, sir. I mean, it's just like what you're doing. You're in the heart of Catholic University. I mean, I tell people all the time, before you try to judge somebody and before you try to criticize somebody, walk in their shoes. And, you know, what is that like when there's a month when you have to do payroll for all of those people, and the bottom line is just not in the black? You know, you have to deal with that as the owner. That's your burden, not theirs.
It's amazing. But anyway, our time is up. But Glenn Jackson, I want to thank you so much
for having me. Thank you, Mr. Henry. Y'all be blessed and continue blessing. Thanks an awful lot.
Thanks to you too, sir. Thanks to you too.
Okay.
All right, everyone. Listen, we got to go to commercial break. That was Glenn Jackson. We definitely want you to, for those of you who was interested, we want you to go out, bring your little kids so they can see the event. 202-452-7445, extension 1. 202-452-7445, extension 1. Give them a call right now, everybody. We'll be right back for our final segment here on the C. Allen Morning Show here in Washington, D.C., where information is power. We'll be right back.
1450 WOL.
Good morning. This WOL traffic update is brought to you by Garmin. Southbound on the Baltimore-Washington Parkway, as you head down toward Route 450, it was a broken-down vehicle in the left lane, very slow from 410 to get past it. Vehicle fire, 18th and I Street Northwest, right downtown. Look for police on the scene. The accident that was westbound on the freeway after South Capitol Street before 6th and 7th Street Southwest was cleared away, so everything there is open. Avoid traffic, get a Garmin Nuvi with subscription-free HD digital traffic, and keep moving. Drive with Garmin, the most trusted name in GPS. Now your WOL weather forecast brought to you by Modern Family on USA Network for today. Partly cloudy, a high near 38.4. Tonight, increasing clouds down to 32. And for tomorrow, a wintry mix becoming all rain and a high near 42. USA Network welcomes Modern Family 5 nights a week. Modern Family on USA Network 5 nights a week. Comedies welcome. Steve Hirschhorn for News Talk 1450 WOL, where information is power.
Smells good.
Well, look who came out of his man cave.
Just checking on you and dinner.
Well, your stomach clock is fast. Gonna be a while. Well, why don't you...
You okay?
Oh,
honey!
2 out of 3 people with diabetes die of a heart attack or stroke. But you can lower the risk. Ask your healthcare provider how. For more info, go to diabetesactnow.org. Brought to you by the American Diabetes Association and the Ad Council.
Attention shoppers, if anyone is missing a rather plump set of love handles, please come to the customer service counter and claim them. The ample love handles were lost in the produce department where their former owner had purchased fruits and veggies to munch on during the big game. Thank you and have a good day.
Small step number 81, snack on fruits and veggies. It's just one of the many small steps you can take to get healthy. Learn more at www.smallstep.gov.
A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
News Talk 1450 WOL AM, where information is power.
All right, everyone. Yes, indeed. I tell you now, we just had a great, awesome conversation with Glenn Jackson Productions here on the radio. So we definitely appreciate him. 452-7445 extension 1. If you want to get you a Golden Sisters ticket, we definitely want you to support him. All right, everyone, listen, one of the things that we talked about today, we're not taking any more calls, but we talked about how we lost professionalism in the barbershops and salons, and I had a couple of things that bothered me. The first one was leaving clients under the dryer. That's a problem. You leave clients under the dryer, and you leave them under the dryer way too long. They under there baking while you either servicing other clients or you out sitting down having your hamburger, french fries, and your half and half. Your steak and cheese.
That sounds good. That sounds good.
That's your problem, Andre. The second one is not speaking when clients enter the building. That's a major problem. The third one, talking over clients' heads. That bothers me. When you are talking to your coworker or you're on the phone over top of the client, you're supposed to get that client. That time belongs to the client. You are disrespecting the client by taking their time by talking on the phone to somebody else. The fourth one was no consultation. You just sit people in the chair and just start doing their hair. You don't do any kind of checking analysis. You don't do any of those things. That's a problem. The next one is not making the client feel comfortable. You're always supposed to make sure that the clients are comfortable when they come into the door. Make them feel special. The next one is talking on the phone, which we kind of touched on. The next one is styling, smelling like alcohol or cigarettes. That's a problem.
Horrible. That's horrible. I can't stand that.
Why are you smelling like alcohol, baby? You over my head.
Or cigarettes. Like you can smell that stuff on your
Why are
breath.
you smelling like you just left a chimney and you standing over top of my head?
You just left out of a chimney?
The next one is bad breath.
Oh, my gosh. oh, no, Seattle. Hey, it smell like they got a dead man plastered to their teeth.
I just say that everyone, we teach the students at the Benneker Institute, have some mints, have a little gum, have something so you can have fresh breath. The next one is loud music. Why you got Andre in there on the DJ, in the DJ booth, in the salon? Yeah, okay, thank you, Andre. He just put some breath mints in his mouth. He should have did that 2 hours ago. All right. The next one is not paying attention to the client, not focusing on the client, not making sure that that client has your undivided attention. And this is my most important one. I want you to talk about this one.
Okay.
And that is price changes. I got a problem when I sit in your chair. And the first week I come, my haircut is $15. The second week I come is $18. The third week I come is $20. That's a problem.
That's a real problem. Where do you do that at?
So why do you think barbers, when you ask them what the prices are, why do you think they give you so many different prices? Because then, first of all, Alonzo, we know what the haircut costs. We know what he charged us the last time. But we're going to say out of common courtesy how much I owe you.
Because everybody for some reason you want to make more money, but that's not the way to do it. You know, I understand, sometimes you got to stay competitive, but not every week. That don't make sense. I've never been in a situation like that. But that's horrible if somebody's doing that. Every week, 15, 18, 20.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so those are my 10 things, and this Thursday, Natalie, I am talking about integrity, retention, and loyalty. I am. I'm going to talk about that Thursday, so I thank you.
Natalie said that.
Yeah, and I'm going to talk about that on Thursday.
That's plush.
Also, everyone, we do have, Henry, why don't you tell them about the last 2 vendors that we have open for the Celebrity Beauty Weekend?
Yes. We only have 2 vending spots left. That's it. 2 vending spots left. I announced that we had a few vending spots left on the last show, and let me tell you, people just started calling. I've been on the phone all week long, and we're down to 2 booths. And the only reason why we're down to those 2 booths is because we went out and discussed different ways that we can implement, some more space. So if anybody's out there interested in the last final 2 booths, to be a part of this momentous event coming up in January, then give me a call at 202-526-1400, and my extension is 18. That's once again 202-526-1400, extension 18. Leave me a message, and I'll give you a call as soon as I get to work.
All right, everyone, listen now. You know that Black Friday is this Friday coming up, and I just think it's important that you make sure that you take your time, everybody. Now, we're so excited here in Washington, D.C. because of the Walmart that's coming up and all that. Once you take your time, listen, I want you to, there's a couple of tips that I want to leave with you, Black Friday shopping tips that I want to leave with you. The first one is start tracking store sales in advance. Make sure you start tracking now. Get your papers now. Who has the best deals? Who has the best sales? So you have a plan. Don't get in your car fool and just riding all around, going to this mall and that mall. Have some direction. The second one is shop online in the wee hours of Thanksgiving, because a lot of times many sellers activate their online deals the day before, typically between 3 and 6 in the morning. So it's very important. The wee hours of Thanksgiving, you want to shop online. The next one is then when Black Friday comes, then you go back online again and you see, because a lot of times about 70% of Black Friday deals are also available online, and 78% of them come with a free shipping order. So that's why it's important. The next thing for Black Friday is go for the electronics. That's what Melvin Wells said on last night. He said on Black Friday, all this running around for clothes and this and for that. He said that he heard that December 4th, the first week in December, is the best time to get your deals. But if you're going to go out on Black Friday, you want to make sure that you go for the televisions and all of that, because the electronics, because that's the first thing going to go.
It's the most expensive.
And that's the first thing that's going to go. So all of you with your flat screens and all that kind of stuff that you want, make sure you do that. And then the final tip that we have for you here in the C.I. Allen Morning Show is wait for Cyber Monday to purchase clothing. Wait for Cyber Monday to purchase clothing, because that is going to be the cheapest time to get them. So you remember my tips. On next week, I will be doing my Sea Island favorites. Henri is lining up the vendors to call in to see if they're going to give us something away. I'm going to tell you, but listen to me, tell everybody in the world, your grandmother, your auntie, Aunt Bessie, Uncle Luke, and Aunt Sue Bell, to listen to the Sea Island Morning Show next week, because we're giving away all of Sea Island favorites. We're giving away a ticket to the Golden Sisters. We're giving away a ticket to the Beauty Symposium. We're giving away, we're giving away Kick Your Ash from True Diva. All of the stuff. Henry's going to call all the vendors and make sure that they donate something to the morning show so we can give it away to our awesome lenders. Then you come out.
Hold on, Ciala, I got a question.
Yes, sir.
Before you get too far gone, Black Friday is coming up, and I am your assistant, and I do like electronics, sir.
Well, the only thing I'm going to say, Henry, is Black Friday is coming up. Only thing I'm going to say is Black Friday is coming up.
Sir, can we go hang out together on Black Friday?
Absolutely not.
Why not?
First of all, Alonzo, Trendy Lindy came in on Saturday and she wants her job back. That's a whole nother subject. That's a whole nother subject. I'm just saying. The only thing I'm saying, Henri, is Trendy Lindy came in on Saturday and she wants to come back to work.
Look, we have Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen. You Michael Jordan, I'm Scottie Pippen.
Only thing I'm saying, Henri, is let's skip the subject. I have a minute and 30 left. Thank you.
No problem.
Okay, now, but I'm serious, Alonzo. She came in Saturday. She ready to come back to work. All right. So now, listen, everyone, listen. I want you to start calling us now. I know you enjoy the show every week, but we want you to, Henri and I want you to call now. Either go online and get your tickets at the Bennett, BENNETT, CareerInstitute.org, or why is Henri looking at me like that? Or go to 202-526-1400, extension 45 for your show tickets as well as for your ticket to enter.
People trying to sell me off.
to ticket to enter into the show.
This is not the slave trade.
Yes, indeed. So this is C. Allen. We only have like a minute left. We appreciate all of you for calling in today. We had a great topic today. The topic was great today. And we just appreciate everybody. So listen, make sure they said bad weather this week. So make sure you wrap up and do the things that you need to do. Don't get in no trouble. All right, everybody, my time is up. I want you to call so you can be a part of the Celebrity Beauty Weekend. All right, everybody, remember, pamper yourself. It's your duty. Why?
Because you're worth it.
Because you are worth it. Can he get that right at least one time along? He told me something worth it. Have a good week, everyone. Thank you so much.
News updates on the web at WOLDCnews.com.
Here at the GED Pep Talk Center, we've got a range of pep talkers standing by. Call 1-877-38-YOUR-GED or visit yourged.org and find free classes in your area. GED is a registered trademark of the American Council on Education. Brought to you by Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Dad! Come on! Over here! Look at this, Dad! Over!
Whoa. The moment my son saw a redwood tree
It's huge!
is the moment I knew that for him,
You can't even see the top of that thing!
even the sky has no limit.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org. Learn about forests near you and discover cool things to do when you go, like hiking, biking, fishing, or camping. Or do your own thing when you get there with family and friends. Your moment is out there. Find it at discovertheforest.org. That's discovertheforest.org.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
My name is Dale Pazinski. I volunteer with United Way to help the homeless in my community learn computer skills and build a basic resume. I don't just wear the shirt, I live it.
Give, advocate, volunteer, Live United. Go to liveunited.org. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
I'm Ellie the Mammoth, and my friend Sid the Sloth knows what being a great parent is all about. I'm responsible, loving, nurturing. You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Visit adoptuskids.org for more information. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt Us Kids, and the Ad Council.
Dad, remember when you asked me, what do you want to do with your life? And I was like, I want to get paid. Well, right after that, you said, there's no job called getting paid.
Really? I said that?
Yeah, and that's exactly when I knew. I wanted to go to college.
You never know which moments will be the ones they remember forever. So take time to be a dad today. Learn more at 1-877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov.
Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
African Americans are nearly twice as likely to suffer a stroke as white Americans.
There are steps you can take to help beat the odds. 1-888-4-STROKE or go to strokeassociation.org. Join the power to end stroke. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
Our lives are affected every day by innovations from the minds of African Americans. Support the United Negro College Fund because a mind is a terrible thing to waste. Visit uncf.org or call 1-800-332-UNCF. Brought to you by UNCF and the Ad Council.
This is Morgan Freeman. Colorectal cancer is the second leading cancer killer of men and women over 50. Doesn't always cause symptoms, but it can be prevented. Get screened.
A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
President Obama loves WOL, where information is power. So in love with you. WOL, where information is power.
1450 WOL, Washington, D.C. and WPRS HD2 Waldorf, Washington. A Radio 1 station and worldwide at WOLDCnews.com.
The views and opinions of the following show do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of News Talk 1450 WOL, Radio 1 Incorporated, or their management.
Good day. Welcome to the Georgette Miller Show. It's Money Monday on 1450 WOL. Good afternoon. This is Georgette Miller, and welcome to Money Monday. Hope you guys are having a good one, and you're getting ready for Thanksgiving, I'm sure. Just to get the information, get the advertising out of the way. Living Debt Free, What Credit Score Fearmongers and Debt Peddlers Don't Want You to Know. That's my book. It's available on Amazon, Kindle. The Kindle version is also available on Amazon, and you can also get it on BarnesandNoble.com. Great stocking stuffer. Great to start the conversation about what it truly means to live debt-free. You can also follow us on Facebook and on Twitter and sign what I like to call our debt-free pledge by going to georgettemiller.com. And that debt-free pledge will enroll you into our database so that you know when we're having upcoming seminars, when we're having financial workshops. It will just get you in the loop, and you'll be able to come out and meet with me. Some of you want to meet with me personally to ask questions, which I think is funny. But for free consultation with myself or one of my attorneys, you can always dial 1-866-96-GM-LAW. That's 1